I don't think it's the government's responsibility to determine your worth. Because if you allow them to, who's to say they can't reduce the minimum wage back to $5 an hour?
Welcome to Pull the Pin Already, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions on the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions.
But we promise we're going to enjoy giving them to you.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Mike.
And
Hey,
I'm Dr. King.
Okay, yeah, let's pull the pin.
Leo.
So,
Hey.
Mike,
What's on deck today? It's a lot of talk around the towns, if you will, about raising the minimum wage. They say the president's going to finally get that through. What do you guys think about that?
it's not the first time we've discussed this, right? Or not, well, we've discussed it, not the first time it's been around town, right?
Right.
I think there's pros and cons. There's always pros and cons. And
All right, let's go through it. Well, name a pro.
well, with increased salaries or wages, whatever you want to call it, that's going to increase people's ability to spend money as well. So that's good in a way. You know, I mean, the more if I was working and I was making $15 an hour, I would obviously have more of a budget to spend more money on other things. So, I guess it would be a pro would be that other businesses would it would help other businesses out as well.
I agree. I agree 100%. The more money you can get out there in the economy, it might boost the economy. You know, as long as other things don't go up. It kind of reminds me of Germany in a sense. It's totally different, but it just reminds me of it. When they went from the Deutschmark to the euro, you know, they said, okay, if something in the store costs one Deutschmark, now it costs €1. But if you were making 25 Deutschmark an hour, you didn't end up making €25 an hour. Then they did the conversion rate. So that's why it affected in a negative way their economy in the beginning. Maybe they had some bean counters or some people out there, professionals who know about that stuff, and they said, "Hey, in the short term, we're going to take a hit, but in the long term, it's going to increase the value of the euro." I don't know, but I think in the short term, it's going to probably with some businesses you'll see like an increase in prices. You know, because some
Right.
small businesses would have to, you know, supplement that increase of wage with what? They have to make more profit so they can afford that.
Well, I
So,
think you're moving over into the cons, right? And I think the problem is
yeah,
there's more cons than there are pros. I've been sitting here the whole time trying to think of another pro other than the $15 an hour worker getting more money. Like, that's
right.
the
Well,
only pro I could find.
another pro that I had, because I did a little research on it, and I agree with it. But like another pro is that there's so much to talk about with this, but like it increases morale. You know, if someone is making $10 an hour and then they get a raise to $15 an hour, you're gonna think that their productivity is probably gonna go up, and that's a pro right there. You know, you might get a service with a smile for once. Going
Yeah, but don't you
to
think that's short-lived?
um, if everybody does what we're supposed to plan on doing in life and moving up the chain of command, then it doesn't have to be short lived. But
Well, I'm saying I think the cons are going to catch up to that. Like, you're going to get that increased morale because, yeah, the guy flipping burgers is now making $15 an hour to flip burgers, so he's got more money to go buy weed or whatever he's going to buy, or pay for his rent or whatever he's going to do, whatever he does with that money. So I think, but in the long term, like Mike was just starting to allude to, maybe the cost of burgers are going to go up. Maybe less people are going to go for burgers. You know, there's long-term ramifications. Then how's that morale going to go? Maybe he loses his job because now they can only afford 4 employees instead of 5.
Right.
So
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That is absolutely a con because because there are some companies that they have a certain budget and it's pretty much planned out through their projected sales for the year, and obviously this isn't going to be thrown upon people. From what I read, this wasn't like really going to come into an effect till like 2025, I believe. So I mean, there's gonna be preparations for companies, but yeah, I mean, like certain companies, their year projection doesn't entail paying someone $15 an hour. So, and they're not in the business to lose money. So, if we're going to take the brunt of it, if that's the case.
Yeah, I think some companies are already preparing for it. Sorry about that, guys.
yeah, I was telling you
Yeah,
about Walmart, right? Walmart was putting in
yeah,
kiosks now. There, a lot of them are
yeah,
starting to do it now.
yeah. With the self checkout, with the
Yep.
same thing, and you have the same thing in fast food restaurants now. They have a kiosk now at some fast food restaurants, and you know that's
Well,
one,
but
two less or six or whatever. I don't know the number, but less amount of employees that you may need now.
and that is a con because
Yeah.
it definitely you're going to lose some labor because of it. So I mean, it isn't that is a con for
No,
sure.
I don't think that. Well, yeah. You're gonna lose that labor, but the business will still go on.
Absolutely, yes,
You know,
right.
yeah, they'll
But
just put machines in place of humans or something like that.
there
Well,
will be job loss for sure.
Yeah,
yeah, let's be real. I mean, automation is a threat to jobs before even talking about this subject. Automation was always going to be a threat to jobs.
Oh
So
God, when we were kids,
we knew this was coming.
we were told that robots were going to take over the world by the time we're our age. But
Right.
like for me though, you guys, I know geographically we're all in different places. I'm not going to share where I live, but I'll share that I live by Buffalo, New York, and where I live, I would just drove by Arby's today. They're paying people $14.50, so they're already planning ahead. So I mean, good for them because I mean, we probably do need to pay stuff, but I live I don't live too far from PA. Our minimum wage is $13 an hour, I think is what it is now, and PA minimum wage is $7.50. So I mean, there's some huge discrepancies that I think a pro would be to try to raise the minimum wage a little bit so that it's a little more comparable. Obviously, where I live, you only $13 an hour is fine, but if you live in New York City, you still can't live off of $15 an hour. So I don't know.
yeah. But what are they supposed to do?
I know. I know.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Sometimes I have I can't really say my opinion on that because it's gonna come out so wrong. Like I
Oh,
don't care about
please, please say it. This is what we want to hear. The
I mean,
authentic Mike James.
here we are living in today, right? Minimum wage is what 7.25, 7.50,
Hmm.
right?
Depending on where you live, yes.
Right. So would you say somewhere minimum wage is over $8 somewhere?
Well, it's
He
13
just
here.
said there, yeah. But
Oh,
what we talking? Isn't there a federal minimum wage and
yeah. I
state
think
minimum wage?
that's what we're talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're saying federal minimum wage in
No,
some
I don't.
places? Oh,
Well, yeah, there probably is, but it's state to state. Because, like I said, I live in New York. They I don't know, a couple miles down the road, we'll say PA. They pay their people $7.50 minimum wage or $7.25.
Right.
That's a
Probably
huge
matching the
discrepancy.
federal.
And we have, well, that's probably the federal mandated minimum wage. Yes, yes.
Right. Which you can
Absolutely.
add to, you just can't take
Right,
away.
right, right,
right.
right. So, but then I don't know what you're saying, Mr. James, but I'll add on to my feelings, and my feelings are minimum wage, minimum skills. Should I'm not making fun of anybody. I worked a student job. I made minimum wage. I wasn't expecting to make $20 an hour because I washed dishes and worked in a kitchen in a hospital. And it was a minuscule job, but I was trained as a kid. Work your way up. Wherever you start, you're going to start at the bottom and try to just work your way up. I know it's not feasible all the time. I know some people are limited, and it is what it is. So it's hard for. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody for it, but minimum
No,
wage,
I think you're making a counter argument to your morale thing. I mean, to me, working hard and building up the ladder is a morale
right,
building. You know, and
right,
if you go and hand this an entitled generation a burger flipping job, say, oh, you're making $20 an hour. What do you think he's going to strive for the next? What's his next one? He's going to go work
right.
groceries for 14? Is he going to become? You know,
Well,
where does he go?
That's where I was going to disagree with you, Dr. Kane, with
yes, sir.
the morale portion, because if
Right.
someone's making $7.50 or $10 an hour now, did they really do something to get that $15 or that increase?
Right.
You know,
That's
no.
right.
So
No,
they're gonna feel like Jim is talking about. They're gonna feel entitled, so they're gonna keep doing whatever
right,
they're doing because they
right.
didn't do anything to deserve it. Let's say for the
Well,
majority, I mean, some people it might boost their morale and like we were talking about their mental health. You know, because now they'll be able to afford more things, and that maybe
right.
it's just like a domino effect. I don't
Well,
know. I don't know.
Jim made a comment of going and buying weed with his money. Well, so what? So there's still more money than the goddamn weed dealer can make. Not that I agree with it.
Well,
Not that I,
well, now you got to remember here though, the weed prices might go up too.
oh, maybe.
Yeah,
See,
but
you have
yeah,
to think
but
about this. If
why?
flipping burgers is $15 an hour, then why would any other job say, "Oh, well, this burger guy's making 15 and you're only paying me 18. Why don't I just go flip burgers with less responsibilities?" So now the other jobs have to jack up their pay because nobody's going to want to work for them when they go
Right.
easier.
Yeah, because you have some skilled labor out there making 16, $18 an hour, then saying, well, damn, minimum wage is 15. So my skill is only worth $1 more than minimum wage. You know?
Right.
Why go to
Well,
college?
But
Why
yeah,
like
go to college?
yeah, exactly. Why
a
why
good,
why go learn a trade or anything like that? I mean, I'm not saying that's what I say. That's part of the con because people think that people deserve to make this amount of money. I'm like, okay,
right.
if I was a business owner, then I would look for ways to cut back on that labor, that manual labor, and put some automation in there. You know,
Right.
because that return on that investment, you're looking at a
Right.
couple of years.
Well, either that or you look at. I mean, I'm not really a fast food eater, even though I look like it. I'm not. But I had gotten a McDonald's burger the other day, and the damn thing, it used to be like that big, and now they've like shrunk it up, and it's still the same price. It's more money actually.
You
So
do
yeah,
realize
that's
That's because of COVID.
that's what's going to happen. Is companies are just going to shrink their stuff to
they've been
make
doing
it
that for years with potato
right.
chips,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
more
one
air.
thing, one thing that did pop into my mind about like, I was talking about like working your way up. Well, we're all veterans here. We all started E1 to E3. I don't know what you guys all started at, but
Right.
you know, you if you started E1, you make a certain rate, and that's it. Deal with it. Work your way up, or get out. I don't know. It's a good topic. I like this topic.
I think that's a good scenario too. If you think about it, you think about like let's bring this into the military. What let's say they say okay, all E1 privates now have to make minimum wage. You think an E2 or E3 is not going to have to go up? Like
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was a supervisor at a huge. I was a vice VP, but that was a huge thing. We've been going through this minimum wage stuff here in New York for a while. This isn't like a new thing for us. We've already been preparing for this $15 an hour, and I'll have staff that have worked there 10 years, and my company didn't really pay people that well to begin with, but the minimum wage went up to like 11.80, and people that were there 5 years were just making 11.80, and a new person that comes in is making 11.80 too. And it's like, what the hell? And it's as a nonprofit company, it's very compensating a 5-year veteran that was the company to make them feel worthy for someone that just came in that's making the same amount of money.
Yeah.
see, there you go again, disproving your morale argument. You just killed the morale of other people by increasing the morale of the new guy.
I'm not sure why you got to keep throwing that in my face, but
I'm just trying to find some controversy here.
I'm gonna give you a morale knuckle sandwich, brother.
Oh, no, I get 2 knuckle sandwiches now.
Well, do you guys
Oh.
think it's the responsibility of the government to determine what someone's worth is at a particular job?
Oh, hell no.
Right.
I don't. No, hell no. No.
That's another controversy, if you will. To me, it's like I think the government's overstepping their bounds, because when I go to a company, or anyone goes to a company, they do the interview and they sign on the dotted line. It's an agreement.
Right. Exactly.
I agree to do this labor for this amount of money.
Right?
Mhm.
And I
Now
agree with
people
you
are saying,
100%.
hey, people can't survive on minimum wage alone. Okay, no one's saying that you have to do that alone.
Right.
You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
sir.
once again, you talk about, okay, why aren't kids taught this in school? You know, because to
Right.
me, a lot of kids today they have no clue about. It's all about I want to move out on my own. But then when they get there, they're like, well, hold up, we got to pay for what? That's, whoa,
Oh,
no, and I think it's a sad reality because they're not taught these things. Yeah, the parents can warn them, say, hey, you have to do that, but they don't listen to the parents. You got to put it in the books.
Yeah.
well,
Even my kids.
another story. That's another story in and of itself about education and the
Right.
fact that you teach these kids the finances of what the hell goes on, because I'm looking for a condo down south right now for a winter home, and it's like it's cheaper for me to buy a house than to look at rent costs. The rent costs are just you can't even at $15 an hour. It's $1,200 to rent a place nowadays. If you
Right.
want something that's halfway decent. So I mean, in general, shit's just getting crazy. So it is what it is.
Well,
man.
I understand the dilemma because we can sit here and say, well, the rent is cost a lot more because people are coming here. Supply and demand. It's pretty simple. If it's a popular place, lots of jobs, people are going to come there. So you can't just up and move to Kentucky and say, okay, I'm going to get rent a place for $600, but I can't find a job. So I
Right.
understand the dilemma, but the beautiful thing about this country is you do have that choice.
Right.
So if you can't find a way to make it work, you can still go to Kentucky and start a hot dog stand or whatever else you want to do.
Or you can go in the military. They're always hiring.
Yeah. And make $12 an hour.
Well, no, man.
Hey, you don't have to worry about rent.
Exactly.
They issue your
Three
tent.
hots in a
Yeah.
cot, huh?
3 highs in the cot, baby. I mean, I guess that's one of the reasons why vets shouldn't be talking about this topic, huh?
Right?
Well, but we don't get paid a lot.
Yeah, I know we don't, or we didn't. I
I've,
mean,
I've done a lot of counseling in my life with kids, and that's what I tell them. What's your solution? Go in the military if you don't have. I can't give you the solution. I can't give you the answers. I can tell you.
well, one thing for me is people want the government to provide for them, but they don't want to go work for the government.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of
Yeah.
entitlement nowadays. Yes, they don't. Yeah,
I would love to have the conversation because it's not a debate to me. I'd love to have the conversation to see like people who are like, no, the government should do this. They have to do this. And I'm like, okay, I'm just not getting it. Well, why does the government have to do that?
and the issue isn't the government. That money comes from us. It's not.
I was just going to say that. I was like, why do people keep talking about the government? The government's not funding this. The government's taking our money and paying other people.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I don't have an issue with that.
Well, I have an issue where my money's going. I can't speak for yours.
Yeah, I know, but I would much rather see this happen. Matter of fact, I would jack it up to $20 an hour rather than see more money go overseas.
Agreed. But here's what I would say. I would even could give a concession to say that I would raise the minimum wage to $20, $25 and pay Congress people $80,000 instead of whatever the heck they're making.
Yeah, I can
Take the money out of their paychecks.
Yeah, I can agree with that one as well. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think that was you okay there, man?
This would be the basis of a show you had the other day, and the fact that those rich people, they don't want us to have money. They want to keep us. So I mean, there's no way to get that money from those folks, man. That's insane. I
Yeah,
agree with you. I agree with you, Jim, 100%. I mean, my God, what their retirements are absolutely ludicrous. What they're getting.
The money we waste just on politicians alone, government workers alone. No offense, Mike. And we've seen what the government workers do, right? We see the standard, the postal service. I mean, we see what they produce. It's the bare minimum because they know it's not their money, it's not their products. They're not going to be sued and fired, and they just know. So I wouldn't be putting my money into those places. I'd put them into companies, people. I'd even give back to the people. I'm all for it. That's the dilemma. I'm all for helping people, but I just don't. I don't know how you do that when you got a government that just takes your money and helps themselves.
yeah. That's what I say. If you divide the nation into three groups, I would say four groups over one, like Biden's first term. The first year, whatever money you were going to give to a foreign nation, give it to this group over here. Right?
Right.
Next year, that foreign money, you give it to the next group. You know what I mean? And just take care of Americans first. I forgot who said it. They said you can always tell a lot by a country by how they treat their poor people.
Well,
You know?
wait a minute, though. I think if you go that route, you're going to be labeled a white nationalist.
Why is that?
Because I think there was a president we had who wanted to put America first, but he was labeled as a white nationalist. And not just a nationalist, a white nationalist because he happened to be white.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
does color come into this? What the hell? What does color have to do with that?
Well, that's politics. But the point I'm getting at is I'm all for nationalism. I think we should take care of ourselves. I have no problem putting up a border, protecting our workers. If we need workers from down south, hey, let's call them in. That's what other countries do.
The
I
issue.
don't have an issue with it either.
I don't have an issue with it, but when there's people struggling for jobs here, the problem is let's face it, this system.
Yeah, okay. Let me ask you something, Dr. King. I don't mean to interrupt, but let me ask you something.
Society as a whole has been as lazy as hell.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
You have a problem with it because there are people here who need jobs, right? So
Yes.
I have a business,
Yes.
and for these 100 workers, I'm willing to hire. I
Yes.
can only afford to pay them $7.50 an hour.
Yes.
The average American, let's say I'm just generalizing here, they're gonna be like, nah. You want me to do that work? Nah, you need to pay me,
Right.
more than that, right?
Right.
So now you have these other workers who are
Right.
willing to do this job,
What do
and
you
I
mean?
hire them. Huh?
What do you mean by why can't? What do you mean by other workers? Why can't we
Other
just say
workers.
migrant Mexicans?
Yeah,
That's what.
okay.
That's,
Yeah, we have these
And we
people
have
down
about-
in Mexico willing to come up here and do the
Right.
job,
I get
probably
it.
for less.
Oh
Now,
God, yeah.
people gonna say that I'm wrong for that.
Right.
I should give
Well-
those jobs to Americans.
Well, that's my whole point. As Americans, we as society have become very lazy. And how many? Most people are just they're so self-entitled. What? Picking apples off a vine, or like where I live is grape country, and they make a lot of wine around here, and we have a lot of migrant Mexicans that come and help out, and that's something that my average Joe neighbor, if I said if they're complaining to me they're broke, and I'm like, well, why don't you go pick some grapes? Fuck that, they can't pay me enough to do that shit. So yeah, I get it. If I own the grapevines and people are acting that way, yeah, I'm not going to really have a choice because I can't afford to pay someone $20 an hour for picking grapes,
Right.
and I can afford to pay Mexicans their dollar an hour that they want.
So you
Which is-
fix the problem real quickly. You stop incentivizing the lazy poor stuff. And I think that was actually starting to happen. You stop incentivizing because one of two things will happen. Like, let's take this thought process down the road. Say I own the great place. If I can't find people to work for me, I either have to pay more or I have to find people who will take less, right? And let's say the illegals weren't available. So I would either go out of business and people wouldn't get their wine, or I'd have to pay my workers more, but then I'd have
Right.
to charge more for the wine.
Right. Absolutely.
So it all comes out the
Absolutely.
same. So now take the other side of the person who's not working. If we stop incentivizing people for not working, like low income things, which I know we had this conversation before. Let's throw more money. Let's throw more money. I don't believe that. I think when people don't have the money and there's a job available, they should go take that job.
Well,
It's
okay, go ahead.
you
Sorry.
know, I'm saying that's what would incentivize them to work is they need the money. I would do if I had to feed my kids and I lost whatever I had, I would have to go find work.
Now, when you say throw money, there's more money. A lot of that money that in that last episode when we were talking about that, we're talking about throwing money and creating programs. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and
It's not
under the
just like, hey, well, here we are, a little Robin Hood action, giving people money, and then they get to go do. That's kind of like welfare, And but no, what we were talking about, I believe, what was being said was spend a lot more money, tax revenue, whatever, on programs for those inner cities.
Sure. Number one, the taxes alone. You cut back on the tax breaks should be a normal thing because that allows people who are working to keep more money. Then they could probably hire more. They can stimulate the economy. So if we can keep more of our money, that's great. The money you're talking about has to come from somewhere.
Fair tax.
Where's the money come from that we're going to make all these programs?
We just discussed two of them: politicians pay and foreign aid.
Right, but all that stuff still comes from us.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
for me, if you make a certain amount, like let's say minimum wage, why the hell would you charge someone who makes minimum wage? They have to pay taxes. That's like
Right.
ridiculous to me. You know what I
Agreed.
mean? That's just ridiculous. But then people are gonna say, well, they have to pay their fair share. I have a middle finger on my hand, just ready to be, to go. Yeah, that's my response to that. You know?
What kills me is on that note is that when you're making minimum wage and you're paying taxes, you usually get most of it back at the end of the year anyways. So
Yeah,
don't even bother taxing them. I agree with you,
yeah,
100%. Because you're going to give it back to them anyways. What are they trying to collect interest on pennies? It's
right.
gonna, but this little flag here represents the United States of America. We do have it good. I've got a lot of Canadian friends, and if you want to talk about getting taxed, talk to some Canadians about it because they get taxed up the ass.
Yeah, but they bash America too, so screw them.
No, just blame
Well,
Canada.
that's kind of like once again. I remember when the gas prices started going up, almost $3 a gallon, and people over in Europe were like, "Hey, welcome. We've been there for a long time." You know?
Right.
It's already started here again, so it is what it is. And
Yeah, well, even just look into your childhood, look in your past, dude. The things that we went through, these kids don't have to see that. They're just internet is a thing here. Like before, if you got dial-up, you were like, "Holy cow, I could talk to people from far away."
Yeah,
Like internet's like these kids think internet comes to my house for free,
yeah.
and then when it goes out, they come running to me. What's happening to the internet? I'm like, I don't know. What do you mean?
Well, I'm not even two. We're not even 2 years removed. I told you this, Jim. My one of my daughters was like, "You have to pay for college." You know what I mean? We laugh about it to this day.
No, you have to pay for
Yeah.
college.
Hey, that's
I
your
already
number
went.
one fan too. That's the one. It's your
All right,
number
tell her
one
I'll
fan.
donate to the college
Yeah.
fund, but that's it.
That's it, right?
I thought
Speaking of number one fans, real quick, let me give a quick shout out to Johnny and Aiden, my secret fans. I know you're watching. All right, go ahead. What are you saying, Dr. Kane?
I was just gonna say I'm not gonna talk about where any of y'all live, but I thought Mr. James, the state where you live, school was free.
College?
College is free.
No.
No? See, like in New York right now, if you go to we have these schools called SUNY schools, and if your parents make below like $91,000 or $90,000, I think it is, you get to go to school. You get to go to the State University of New York schools for free.
Well, let's clear something up real quick here.
Go for free.
There is
Oh,
no such
wow.
thing as free college.
There's
Somebody's
no-
paying for it.
There's anything for free, but No, like
You may not have to pay, but somebody's paying for it.
Right, exactly, yes. Same with
That's the
healthcare.
problem.
Same with
I think that's what these people think. These young kids and these
right.
they think that the free is actually free.
Well, yeah, my buddy's daughter's going to a state university of New York school, and they just have to pay for, I believe it's just room and board. But what I like about New York State and how they're doing it is they're holding the kids accountable. If they don't maintain like a C average, I think it is, they got to pay it back.
Yeah.
And I love it. I think it's awesome. I think it's great.
Some countries when they have this welfare like system, and they have the kids who the parents were taking care of while they were on welfare. When the kids become of age, they have to pay back into that system. It could be something as simple as $25 a paycheck.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's the funny. There's countries out there we can model for good things. Then there's things that just won't work here. That's for sure. I mean, everybody likes to model Denmark as like this, social this, social that. Yeah, but it's nothing like the United States, so we can't model that.
Yeah,
but
you can't.
No. But we can learn something from every country.
Sure.
There's something we can pick from every country to learn from. I know
but we know what needs to change before we get that, right?
Yep.
We need to change the establishment. We need to change these people that are making money, this cash cow of our cash that's flowing into their pockets, their projects, their families' companies. We need to change that before any of this stuff's going to matter. We're just talking right now.
Yep.
Well, yeah, and starting with draining the swamp. I don't know if Mike's going to like that, me saying that, but starting with draining the swamp, term limits, and reducing the, not letting them all become millionaires when they come in there. I'm just saying it to Mike.
Yep. I agree with you.
I don't think they should be paid.
I got to bust Mike.
That'll be term limits won't be necessary if we just don't pay them. It should be a volunteer service.
Well,
and then allow them to make connections, and then they can use the system the way they're going to use it anyway. Take away their pay.
No. I say term limits, and you still gotta watch them, man. Because then if I get elected, Jim, I'm not gonna give a damn about my constituents, right? I'm not getting my number one goal is to get money for me.
Get paid.
So how is that different than now? So that's my point. If they're going to do it anyway,
they're going to do it anyway. But now it's like what you said. Hey, we're not going to give you any money. You go out there and do all your lobbyists, and you get your connection and all of that. It's legal. Now it's not. They still have to go behind closed doors and make those deals. You know what I mean?
They're not closed doors. I get you though. I agree. They're wide open doors that people walking right by.
Hey, can I get in on that one?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't get your briefing? Come on in here.
Yeah.
You're one of us now.
Yeah.
Once they're in, it's like they're locked in. I guess one of my biggest frustrations for those guys is the fact that aren't most of them lawyers? Don't most of them have like a master's degree? They're lawyers. They've already passed the bar and shit. They can already go out and practice and make $200 an hour as it is.
Well, one of them was a bartender.
No, not all of them are lawyers. I think those days are long gone.
There's still a good chunk of lawyers. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, not all of them are lawyers. So.
No, of course not. Can't be.
Perfect example. People that have been there for 47 years, 48 years. I mean, I don't know. It's just nuts.
Well, that's experience, man. Now they know what to do for the country. They know what to do. They know what the country needs. So
yeah, no, they don't.
47 years of practice, man.
You didn't learn how to get rid of a damn laptop. Something wrong. That's all.
That doesn't exist.
Oh yeah.
Never happened.
It doesn't. Wait. Is it unfake news now? I don't remember. I don't remember how this works. Is it defaked? Let's get the fact checkers or the fact checkers.
Yeah, the fact checkers of the checkers. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that. And speaking of that, why don't we go ahead and pull the pin on this and move into our segment?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Which we pull the pin on something that we just want to get rid of. That's basically the concept. Pull the pin, be done with it. Anybody got anything they want to just get off their chest right now?
Hey, Dr. Kane, how about you? Huh?
I had something and it just slipped off my tongue. I don't remember what it was. I should
Sure, it
have
wasn't a
wrote it down.
pill. Was that a pill that slipped off, or?
I don't prescribe. Um,
I can
Ah,
start. I can start if you
Go
guys
ahead.
need some time to think about it. I want to talk about the English language, specifically a word. Look, I'm not the smartest guy here. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm like some English major, but
we know.
the word we're, WE''RE. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that's supposed to be we are.
yeah.
Where
So you took out the A in the space and you saved me a whole bunch of time. What? We're going to the store. We are going to the store. This is how lazy we are? We are. See how I did that? This is how lazy we are? This is how lazy we're? Maybe I'm just not using it right. I don't know.
you're not using it right. No.
But why did we create the word? Why can't we just say we are?
Well, if that's a true question, I'll say this.
Give it.
No, it's like sometimes when a word is popular, they add it to the dictionary. You know what I mean?
So you think it was just made up, became popular, and they added
Yeah,
it?
it's like that's like a accepted version of a word or words put
I,
together.
I was
Yeah.
hoping, and if anybody out there has the answer, I was hoping there was an actual functioning existence for this word that we are would not work at.
Mm.
I
Is
think
that how lazy? Is that how lazy we're?
We're, see, it doesn't work that way, but we are will
Right.
fit in anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. So you saying just keep it the way
I'm
it
saying
was?
add the space and put the A back and
Yeah.
stop. Yeah, they don't have to remember which we, where. Done with it. Done. Anyways,
Understood.
who's
Understood.
on it?
y'all are crazy. What about y'all?
Are you going to pull the pin on y'all, or you want to just carry on the language police thing?
Just a language police thing.
All right.
It's kind of it's funny because like my mom is a very old school lady, and ain't is in the dictionary, but ain't
Now,
was not in the dictionary when she was a kid.
right.
So if
There
I
you go.
say ain't, she gets pissed off. She's like, "That's not a word. Don't use that around me." And I'm like, "I ain't gonna stop.
I ain't
Like,
using that.
I ain't stopping. It's in the dictionary now, girl. Deal with it. Just like word."
That's a whole nother episode we could have.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying though. How it ain't wasn't in the dictionary years ago. Now
Right.
it's become so accepted that they put it in the dictionary. And now it's a word.
Yeah, but they're even changing the definitions of words. Go look up
Yeah.
packing. They changed that this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned with that stuff there, Jim. I'll just get all my information from you.
That's fine. Well, one of you needs to share some information about what you're going to pull the pin on because we're just dragging this along
Hey,
on the English language.
Dr. King, you have anything? No?
No, no. I like I said, no, it's gone. It's just out there. I don't remember.
Well, I have something. I have something that's near and dear to my heart here, and I just want to pull the pin on after this conversation the minimum wage. I don't think it's the government's responsibility to determine your worth. Because if you allow them to, who's to say they can't reduce the minimum wage back to $5 an hour for certain unskilled labor? Be careful, and I've been guilty of this in the past. Once you allow the government to do something, they don't stop. So people, I'm telling y'all, be careful because you might look at this as a victory, but sooner or later, tables will turn, and then you're gonna lose in the long run. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know. Don't trust the government. Don't trust them. That's my pull to pin.
I get it. I I agree with you, but I do think that there's got to be a set wage. I don't think it should be $15 an hour, but it should be a set wage.
You know what that wage is? What I'm willing to pay you.
I don't See, this could be another episode.
It's not only that.
Well, it could have been the episode we just had, but we're trying to end this one because we're trying to get you to pull the pin on something.
I'm gonna pull the pin on. Just so happens it's snowing out right now. I'm gonna pull the pin on snow. I fucking hate it, and I can't wait to get the fuck out and live down south in the winter.
Well, on that note, we will get the F out of here.
Yeah.
So we thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you hanging in there. Leave a comment, do all that cool stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Rumble and all the other platforms we're on, because apparently we got to join everything in case we get kicked off everything. And until then, Godspeed.
Hey, and pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin already.